Welcome, I'm Rob. I want to talk about for new people that are trying to establish credit or having trouble trying to find a way to start your credit. All right. First off, my advice is contact TransUnion, or repeat it again, TransUnion, Equifax, Equifax, Experian, Experian. Those are the three credit bureaus that we use. And you can call them, and you're allowed one. And I just try to change it, but it's one a year, free credit report. That's one way you can do it. Okay, you can call each one of those. You can Google online, TransUnion, you can Google Equifax or Experian, the three credit bureaus. Three of them, not one, two. You have to do all three. They're all separate. Uh, when it comes to getting loans and credit cards and stuff, they all go to different ones and stuff. There's three different ones. Right? You have to contact all three. They're separate identities, you know. Anyways, what I did was Credit Karma. That's what I did. It's got Credit Karma. Anyways, what you get on Credit Karma or Equifax or Experian or TransUnion, once you get one of those three or Credit Karma, you'll look at your credit report. This is important. All right, and as you're looking, you'll see some charges, medical or whatever that might be there. If those are not yours, dispute them. That's the first and easiest thing to do. It ain't gonna cost you. All it takes is your time to do it. They don't take that long. So go through there and dispute them. Now, if you live in the same household, you're a junior or senior or whatever, you have to understand when you go to the hospital, they don't go by social security numbers and all that, your birthdays and stuff. Okay, they look at the name John Stephen, because as we say, and they'll put the bill there. Okay, that's how it works. I had bills on my credit report that were I was not related to this person at all. Okay, I had bills on that were my father's because we had the same name. Anyways, well, the first and last were the same. Uh, but anyways, when I called and talked to them and found out, they don't go by your birthdays. They don't go by social security numbers or nothing like that. Even though our identities by our social security number, they don't go by that. They just look down there and see. I said Billy Francis or whatever, and then they're just gonna put that bill there. So that's on your credit report right now, sitting there, and you don't know it. Okay, that's not your bill, but it's hurting you. I know people say, well, your medical bills don't hurt. I beg to differ. And what happened was I went through and started disputing those that weren't mine. They'll go and check, see the birth dates, and they'll check and they'll see that it wasn't you, it was your dad's or your uncle's or some other person's. Okay, so it'd be taken off your. And when I started doing that, I started to help with my school. Okay, now the other thing I started doing was what my brother taught me was that I know a lot of people don't pay their medical bills. I do. I did. Okay. Start with the lowest one. You know, I had one that was like, I don't know, like 50 something cents, something crazy. So I paid it first. And the next one was like, 15 bucks or something, whatever. And I just went up the medical bills and, paying them off one at a time. So I got to the bigger ones, $100, 200, 300, whatever. And that's when I call them and they make arrangements. And sometimes they'll do like a one-time payment. If you pay say $60, they'll drop the debt. You know what I mean? And that's what I've done with several of them. There's just a couple of those I didn't have the money to do it. You know, uh, pay to pay the lump sum one-time payment and pay it off. Well, uh, they give you a credit. Knock some off of it. I didn't have the money, so I had to make payments on it. It took time. The reason why I had a lot of medical bills is I worked a lot of dead end jobs. I worked a lot of jobs without insurance, and every time I got sick, I just went to the ER. You know, every time I walk in there's $1,000 pretty much every time I walk through the door, easy. You know, and so I accumulated a lot of medical debt over the years, and I finally worked on it, got that taken care of. But like I said, the first thing you can do is go through your and look at your credit history, dispute any charges, dispute them. If they're not yours, you know they're not yours. That wasn't you. You wasn't in the state that day, or you wasn't in the hospital. Dispute it because it could be some other person with your name in that hospital. They just threw it on your account, you know, because it's the same name. You know, they don't, like I said, once you dispute it, then they'll look and see the birthday. They'll look, you know, they check, identify, find out that it wasn't you, and they'll take it off your credit, which would help you. You want to clear your credit. The second advice for I can give for a new person is what I've done too, is get Capital One card or something like that. Okay, and that's what I did. I got a Capital One. Yes, it's very high interest rate. Yes, okay, but you know, if you can get a Capital One card, a high interest rate card, and what you do is you could buy something, you know, like a gift card or whatever, you know, buy something, and that's too expensive. But you know, and then if you follow the Credit Karma guidelines, which I did, and turn around, you make the payments, you know, it tells you how much to pay or whatever on that, you know, and do that for a couple of months. By the third month, pay it off, you know, boom. Now you can't just buy something with the card and then turn around and pay it off next week. That's not showing the credit bureaus, credit people, you know, that you can make payments. All it shows is that you can buy something, pay it off. You know, that's not going to help your credit. So what you need to do is buy something, $100, some gas or whatever, and then you know, make your payment next month. Make the payment. You know, like I said, follow the guidelines. There's another company, I don't know what it's called, but I know Capital Ones I went through, and they'll tell you pay this much, pay this much, you know, and then each month, and then third or fourth month, pay it off full, you know, complete full up, and then do it again, you know, and eventually establish and start building your credit up. Okay, that's what I did. Like I said, first I started with disputing bills that weren't mine. That was, you know, because we had the same name. And anyways, that's the easiest thing you can do. It won't cost you except for your time to dispute them, and it don't take that long. You do it online. But you know, like I said, you know, if you don't have, if you don't want to go through Credit Karma, there's another company that does it. I'm not sure what it's called, but you also got you can always contact TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You know, free credit bureaus, and you get a free credit reports. You know, you can do that. Go through there and see if there's any charges on your account that ain't you. You know, that wasn't you, and dispute them. You know, fine, get them off your account. Don't need to be there. It's hurting you anyway. So, and it'll help you. Uh, this is some advice for somebody that's trying to build credit and new to this stuff. Uh, I'm not an expert. This is just what I've learned and what I've went through and how I built my credit up to where I can actually get a car loan and got a car, a new car like that. Not a new, but you know, it was sitting on the lot for a few years, but it still was a new car. You know, it was in the showroom floor. You know, I'm staring at it right now. But anyways, I was 75, 6 years old now, but what had happened, like I said, it helped me build the credit where I can get the loan for that car. You know, now I've got even better credit now. But main thing is make your payments on time. Can't miss payments. You know, like my brother said, can't afford it, don't buy it. You know, you can't count on overtime. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Anything can happen. You can lose that OT. When overtime's gone, it's gone. You know, don't base your living on that. So, but if you can afford the payments, great. You know, to make your payments on time. Don't miss it. If you have to borrow money off some your grandma, grandpa, or somebody, well, then do it. You know, and then pay it back. You know, like you're supposed to do. A lot of people don't do that, but I do. I try to pay back my debts. You know, especially when I tell them I'm going to. You know. But anyways, but I hope this helps you. You know, it's good advice. Simple, and like I said, the easiest thing you do is dispute the charge, and then go from there. Uh, like I said, you can get one of high interest rate cards and buy something, and it's make payments for 2, 3, 4 months. You know, at least 3 months, 4 months. You know, and then pay them off. I pay the debt off. Don't buy nothing crazy with it because it's high interest rate. But like I said, buy something. Make payments. Follow Credit Karma or whoever. Make the payments for about 3 months. Before I pay it off. Boom. And you will see your credit start going up, especially if you ditch them medical bills off your history. Don't think they don't count. They count. I hope it helps. Like, subscribe, share. And my brother was the one that helped me with my credit. And I'm going to dedicate this video to my brother. See you on the side, brother.